everyone. Let's scooch a little bit. Okay, I'm on a rolly chair, so it's really great. I feel like this is a theme in like most of my videos. I like talk about like my rolly chair. Yeah. Okay, so hi. So I'm so excited. I'm wearing my shirt. Next year I'm going to Berkeley, so that's cool. I wrote a note, and it's on red. It matches. So just saying. A list here of what I wanted to talk about. So the first part of this video is going to be my story, how I realized that Berkeley was like where I wanted to be, and what I did to set myself apart, and that whole thing. And the second part of this video is going to be the actual audition experience. So if you would like to skip to the audition experience, I will put that time in the description so you can just go right to what happens at your audition. But I think it's important to talk about portfolios and other aspects of being a musician, committing to music, and showing schools that you are a musician. So, before we start jumping into the video, if you would like to check out my music, you can search Maya Wagner on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Deezer, and it's all on all streaming platforms, and feel free to listen, and link in the description for the different streaming platforms. And I'm really excited. My first EP, Nostalgia, is out now. So, without further ado, let's jump into the video. So I kind of found out about Berkeley when my choral director said that it would be a good place for me to check out one of their summer programs to like make sure that like I knew that songwriting was my thing, like because I had really been getting into it my freshman year. So my sophomore year she said like, oh, you should really check out Berkeley. So junior year I went to tour it. I looked on their website and I already loved the website and everything. So I went to tour junior year, fell in love with it. I loved the vibes, I loved the people, I loved all of the different majors that they offered and the specificity of each major, and how I can take marketing classes and business classes but still major in songwriting. I just liked everything, how I could literally major in songwriting, not general music, songwriting. Berkeley was the first school I toured. Then I toured like Rutgers and Mason Groves and UArts and Drexel and all of these places, and NYU, and nothing felt the same to me as that tour. So I knew that this was where I wanted to go. So now is where we start, me locking in and being like, okay, Berkeley is where I want to go. Leading contemporary music institution in the world, like high hopes. And I decided that I was going to like Google like people that got into Berkeley or stories and like audition examples and all this stuff. And I just couldn't find as much information. Like I wanted a video like I'm making right now that I could watch with someone talking about what they did, how they got in, their experience, all that. And I couldn't really find it, to be honest, so that's why I'm making this one. But there was one good blog post about specificities of audition day, but they were a saxophone player, or I think they were a guitar player, so I was kind of like, okay, like that's a little bit like not the same because I'm a vocalist. So anyway, I knew that for Berkeley I was going to have to submit a portfolio of my music, and that I was going to have to do a live audition, and that I would have to submit transcripts and whatever. But I was like, at that time, I was completely done with high school. I was just like, junior year was rough. So I decided, first of all, that I was going to do something a little bit different for my senior year, because I knew where I wanted to go, which was Berkeley, and I wanted to cater to Berkeley. And my school didn't offer a lot of music classes. I wanted to really show the school that I was committed to music, and that music was what I wanted to do. And I also wanted to get better at music, and I wanted to, you know, in general just have more fun in school. And high school just didn't offer the classes I want, and I had kind of exhausted like what I needed to do, like all my general credits that I had to get for high school, and I was kind of just done. So I started researching places that I could take dual enrollment programs or college classes nearby. So there's a school called Rider University, which is about 45 minutes from where I live, and I applied to their College of Continuing Studies program, which allows seniors and juniors to take classes there. It's not a community college, but it's a private school, but it's local, so it's cool, and they're all cool about that. So I ended up changing my whole senior year schedule. I only had 4 periods of high school. Right now I get out at 11:30, and then I go to Rider Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and first semester I took 3 music classes. I took music theory, music pop history, and music and society class. So why does this matter? One, because of my mental health. I did it because I was overwhelmed. I didn't enjoy school anymore, and I changed it so that I did it, so that I was doing music because I knew what I wanted to do. And the other thing is, by doing that, I was able to show Berkeley that I'm committed to music. That's what I like to do. I'm working already on improving. I'm already, taking classes at another school, so, if they want me, like, they kind of got to tell me, And then I also was improving my musicianship already for my audition and portfolio. So, flash forward to, around that time, I also realized that a good thing to do would be to show interest in the school. So whenever you want a school, you've got to show them that you're interested in them, that they're specifically a school that you're spending more attention on. So one way that I did that, also because I just wanted to, was by enrolling in their songwriting workshop in the summer. So that June, I went to their songwriting workshop, which I signed up for in, the winter. So that was, my winter. That was junior year, right? So I started, working on my schedule for next year, setting up for this class, this workshop, and everything. So senior year. The summer before senior year, I worked very hard on building a portfolio of produced and written and just in general, nice recordings of songs that I would submit to Berkeley as my portfolio. I think it's really important not to submit too many songs. You want to submit your songs, if you're a songwriter like me, and you're submitting supplemental materials, it's really important to be specific in what you submit. So I ended up submitting 4 songs. They were all recorded and produced by me. And I also submitted 4 lead sheets for each song. If you don't know what that is, then you should probably learn how to make them if you're a songwriter. So yeah. And then I submitted those. So one of them was a slower song with harmonies. It was an upbeat song that had percussion in the background. One was, I don't even know what to call that one, and one was a ballad. Upbeat ballad though, with synth and stuff, which was lit. I love that song. Some of those are on my EP if you want to check it out. So I submitted those songs in my lead sheets. I also submitted a personal statement. They don't ask you for an essay, but I think it's important to, make a statement about yourself. I wrote mine about how important music is to my life, specifically how it helps my Tourette's. So that was cool. So make sure you cater it to Berkeley. Write one for them if you're going to do that and submit it, because I think it's important to, I don't know if they read it, who knows, cool. So those are all things that I did. I worked really hard on my portfolio I started working on it, I already had songs and stuff written, but I really got down to the grind summer before. I applied early action, or early admission, which I had to submit things in November. So I worked on pretty much my portfolio over the summer, and then worked with my mentor, my voice teacher, my choral teacher, and a lot of different people in my life on having people listen and giving me feedback on my portfolio and what songs I was going to submit and all of that. What did I do to set myself apart? What did I do to really cater to Berkeley? Taking college classes, music classes, really devoting my entire senior year schedule to music was one way that I showed them that I was committed to music. Writing essays, working hard on my portfolio, working with mentors, submitting a resume to them, and just doing it, working hard on, and taking the summer program. That's important, I think. Signing up for that and showing them interest. I toured it once, and I did the summer program, so both of those things showed interest in that specific school. Let's flash forward to December and talk about exactly what the audition was like for me. So I applied early admission, so that means that I had pretty much one option for audition day, which was December 8th. They scheduled me at 9:30 in the morning, so that's great. And for the audition, I was like really nervous for a couple reasons. One was because of the sight singing. I knew that there was going to be sight singing. I wasn't really nervous for the interview. I just wanted to make sure that I did well on the improv and the sight reading. So I basically couldn't find anything on it except for Berkeley's website and this one blog post. And I was like, alright, whatever. So I just went in kind of cold, like I didn't really know what was going on. I had my song, the song that I sang for my audition, I actually accompanied myself, so I played guitar. I sang My Mind by Yeba. I think I did well on that. That was awesome. So basically, how it works, I should probably go over how it works. So you get there, so I had to audition in Boston because I was early admission, but you get to wherever your audition is. They basically give you a bunch of information packets and tell you to sit down, and there's a screen up in front of where you're sitting, and the screen says a bunch of names. So when you get there, you just wait until your name pops up and it gives you a chair number, and you go sit in the chair. Then somebody nice, probably an alumni or someone, an admissions person, comes out and gets people from each chair. So like, you're just sitting there until somebody says, Chair 9, Maya? And you're like, yes, I'm Chair 9 and I'm Maya. And then you go in. So the first thing you do is they bring you to a practice room, which you get pretty much like 10-15 minutes in. So what I did was I tuned my guitar and I looked at the first sight singing example. They give you all the sight singings, or sight readings if you're a guitarist. And I looked at the first one because I knew that that was going to be the first one they gave me, got it down really clean, and did it on solfege. I think doing it on solfege was a really good call because when I did that, the guy that was playing, that was like judging me, like looked at me and was like, ooh, solfege. But I knew that from choir. I have a lot of sight reading knowledge for solfege and solfege type knowledge for intervals, and it just helps me. So if that's something that you're good at, I would definitely recommend doing it. So that's cool. Anyway, so I just looked at the first example because I wanted to make sure I got it, like, the first example down right. I wish that I had looked at maybe a harder, well, anyway, we'll get into that later. So I tuned my guitar and did that, did a couple riffs from the song, and then he came and got me, and I went into the room. There was two guys. One of the guys was sitting at a piano, and one of them was sitting at a computer typing. The guy at the computer never spoke a word, and the guy at the piano was super dynamic and exciting and talking a lot. So I came in, and he said right away, okay, what are you singing? And I sang it, and I said what I was singing, and I sang it. And then he was like, oh, right, like, okay, like, let's do some improv. So I was like, oh, man. So he basically played a really complicated and not repetitive at all jazz progression. And I just, like, couldn't follow the progression, like, at all. So I just kind of went, oh, yes. And I kind of just got jazzy on him, yeah. Just kind of being excited and, like, having energy through it and not, like, showing you that you, like, I don't know. Just, like, I think having personality in that situation is better than, like, being really good at it. I don't know. So that he was like, okay, okay. He was, like, a nice guy. And he was like, okay, let's do some sight reading. So I thought he was just going to tap a beat and have me do it. But no, he played, like, an accompaniment to me doing this sight reading. So it threw me off a bit, but I did the first example perfectly, and he flipped to, like, example 7, which was, like, a lot harder, which I pretty much butchered. I got, like, the first, like, 2 measures. But, like, I knew that I did well on the first one, and I did it on solfege or whatever, so I knew that, like, it was showing me that I had a base knowledge, so I knew it was fine. And then they took me into an interview. So then they bring you out and they have you wait upstairs a couple floors up, and then your interviewer comes out and gets you. So my interviewer, I have no clue what her name was. She was me. Like, clearly gay. After I said I liked Tracy Chapman, she said, oh, my partner really likes Tracy Chapman. I was like, oh my god. Me and her were wearing the same outfit. I was wearing a pink bow tie, a black blazer, and floral pants, pretty much like a blazer and, like, suit pants, dress pants, and she was wearing a black blazer, a bow tie, and dress pants, and we like bonded. It was amazing. She basically asked me what my musical inspirations are, and I said, you know, I'm really inspired by Tracy Chapman. Talked a lot about, like, you know, kind of why I'm inspired by her and, like, why I want to make a difference like with my music, and like I want to talk about issues that people are scared to talk about. And we kind of talked about that for a little bit. And then she asked me something that I did to be a leader. And I forget what I said. I love that. But like that was a question that kind of threw me off guard. Because I guess I mentioned sometime that I like felt like I was already a leader at school or whatever. And she was like, oh, can you talk more about like what things you've done to be a leader? But I can't even think of any right now. So I don't know what I said in that moment. Anyway, the point was I really got to just like talk, like it was chill, and it went by quick, and then I was done. So yeah, that was the audition. Tips, now on to tips, because I have gotten in. So some of the things that I have done, I did right. So I think picking a song that like to pick your song way ahead of time is really important. I knew I was doing that song. I practiced that song so much, it was like second nature. I mean, I knew I was doing that song before, like in the summer, like in August. So I think that's important because you really want it to be, you don't want to be thinking too hard about what you're playing. And I think another important tip is just be yourself. And I know that's so cliche, but like I literally wore, like everyone was wearing like floral. I was wearing like my blazer, my bow tie, like, you know, like I was wearing like a suit jacket. That was awesome. Like being excited and happy and dynamic is important. So I would give that tip. And then also remember that like your audition's not the end all be all. Like I submitted an awesome portfolio. Like there's so many different things they take into account. Transcripts, letters of recommendation, audition. But anyway, that's kind of like all I have. Yeah. So I'm really excited. So I will keep you guys updated on like the college life and like what's going on. But I just wanted to make this video to like inform people who are excited, because I know I was really excited about auditioning and nervous, and like I really wanted more information. So hopefully I can put some of you at ease and let you know that, you know, it's gonna be okay. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out my EP. My social links are all in the description. And I will see you in another video.